The CEO and I were struck by lightning at the same time, causing our souls to swap. At the hospital, we discovered our bodies had also been occupied by one another. In anger, we started to beat each other, but that didn't solve the problem. I understand that the CEO is worth billions. I was just a food delivery driver, earning $3,000 a month. The doctor had never encountered such a strange case. He couldn't return us to our original bodies and souls. We could only temporarily assume each other's roles. The CEO said he had a signing ceremony in 3 days. He asked me to attend, but I also told the CEO an important thing. 3 days later was the day my wife and I were supposed to get divorced. The CEO promised he'd get my divorce finalized tomorrow. I explained that I did not want a divorce. I asked the CEO to help me win my wife back. While we were discussing the details, the CEO's girlfriend suddenly came over and hugged me. She pretended to be demure on the outside, but was secretly delighted inside, because the CEO normally wouldn't let her get close to me. Soon after, my wife also arrived at the hospital room. She mistook the CEO for... She asked the CEO how he was. The CEO also asked my wife to hug him. My wife said impatiently that there was still a lot of housework to do. After saying that, she took the CEO home. I watched them leave with a heavy heart. I instinctively thought this life was really interesting. Then I followed the girlfriend back to the CEO's villa. It was my first time entering a rich person's home. I moved with a certain cautiousness in my every gesture. Just as I was feeling a bit overwhelmed, I suddenly remembered the CEO's warning. I am now the CEO with a net worth of 100 billion. I mustn't show even a trace of being poor. I imitated the CEO's mannerisms from memory. I walked into the villa with composure. Just as I had just sat down, I accidentally knocked over a cup on the table. The housekeeper was surprised to see that, but I acted unconcerned. I said there was no need to make a fuss over breaking a cup. The housekeeper told me that I had once spent $200 million to buy that cup. Upon hearing this, I showed no change on my face. I instructed the housekeeper to clean up the fragments first. After the housekeeper left, I finally felt a surge of fear. I secretly prayed that the CEO would forgive me for this mistake. At the same time, the CEO went to the rental apartment my wife and I lived in. He scorned that my home didn't even have a housekeeper. My wife asked him to help with the cooking. He, who had never cooked, said he didn't know how. This made my wife even angrier. She accused him of being lazy and only caring about eating. He realized he wasn't in his CEO role at the moment. He stood up and brought the dishes to the table. Then my wife discussed the divorce scheduled for tomorrow. He remembered my request and wanted to use money to help me win my wife back. But his phone wasn't working. Seeing that he couldn't produce any money, my wife thought he was just all talk. The next day, I faced the towering stack of documents on the desk, and I had no idea where to start. I immediately called the CEO for help. The CEO instructed me to first find the thinnest one among them. He told me to have the staff redo it. For the rest of the documents, only stamp them and don't sign them, to avoid different handwriting exposing our identities. Then, following the CEO's instructions, I called in the staff. I picked out the thinnest one and told them to take it back for rework.